Good Monday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. Hi, I'm Joey McWilliams. This is a presentation of the Bryan County Patriot. Glad you are along here on this Monday night, and it's 9 o'clock. It's time to get things going. Had the weekend off, or at least a Sunday off, so ready to get some things talked about today. Don Hyde already with a comment. Don Hyde, are you saying TikTok like it's time, or do you have a TikTok account? That's what I want to know. I think inquiring minds want to know if Don Hyde actually has a TikTok account. It's something we need to check in on anyway. Hey, listen, it is New Numbers Monday, so we're looking at some new numbers today, and we have a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and get that done. Flying solo on this Monday night. I have 3 guests that are already confirmed for this week, locked in and ready to go. So I'm excited about that. But again, flying solo tonight. So who knows? That could mean it will either be a very long broadcast or a very short broadcast. I don't know. I don't think anything can be that short because I'm a preacher, and when's the last time you knew a preacher with a microphone to actually, speak for a short length of time? Anyway, Don, if you are watching right now, I do want to know, do you have a TikTok account? And if so, can we get your account name and whatever it is you're going by? All right, here we go. As of April 20th, and numbers going into today for the state of Oklahoma, those who have tested positive for COVID-19 coronavirus, there we go, still on Facebook, but YouTube probably just kicked me off right there. 2,680 positive cases in the state of Oklahoma. Of those 2,680 positive cases in the state of Oklahoma, 1,614 have already recovered. And we've talked about what recovery means. And recovery, according to the Oklahoma State Department of Health, and let's bring that definition on up right here. Recovery is currently not hospitalized or deceased and 14 days after the onset or the report. Now, we'll get to that definition again here in just a moment, a little bit later on. Numbers a little bit earlier today, just within the past hour or so, the United States passed the 784,000 mark of positive cases within the United States alone. Again, Oklahoma, 2,680. For the United States, 784,000. Oklahoma is 32nd in the country and also behind the District of Columbia in number of positive cases confirmed, 28th in the country in number of deaths. That number is at 143 right now. As of earlier today, 5 more had passed away. That brings that total, 3 more had passed away. That brings that total to 143. There have been 5 cases reported in Bryan County. That number is still at the number 5. 4 of them in Durant, 1 in Meade. There was a report on the Bryan County Patriot earlier today that of those 5, 3 have recovered. Again, that definition of recovering. Hi, Robert. How you doing? That definition of having recovered, currently not hospitalized or deceased, 14 days after the onset or the report of the positive case of COVID-19. So there is that. 4 in Durant, and of those 4, 2 have already recovered. 1 in Meade, and of that 1 has already recovered. 3 out of 5 have already recovered. Now, we're going to get to this a little bit later on in the program, but that's a positive. Let me repeat. That's a positive thing. That's a good thing. We want for people to have recovered. We want for people to not have died. We want for people to not be in the hospital because of a positive, confirmation of this virus. These are good things. These are positive things. And it surprises me that I have to say this, but I feel the need to have to say this. This is a positive thing. Bryan County, in number of confirmed cases with 5, is 45th out of 67 counties in Oklahoma that have reported at least 1 positive case. There are 77 counties total in the state of Oklahoma. Some of you all had to have Oklahoma history. I know, you probably know that already. Hi, Brian. How you doing? Angela, glad you're on with us tonight as well. As of yesterday, 561 people had been hospitalized total overall for COVID-19, even those who are in the hospital right now. We'll get to that number a little bit later on, and those who have already been released or those who may have already passed on. 561 total throughout the entirety of this outbreak. Of those 561 total that are hospitalized, that's out of a 2,680 that have been tested and have been positively confirmed to have had this virus. That is a number 20.9%. So, of the folks who have been tested positive for COVID-19, only 20.9% have had to be hospitalized. As of yesterday, the number of deaths was 143. 93 of them had at least one comorbidity, which means of the 143, 93 also had either diabetes, heart disease, circulatory disease, chronic lung disease, liver disease, or renal failure that contributed to that person passing along. These are important things that we need to know. Does it make it better that someone passed along? Absolutely not. But we do need to understand that sometimes there are also contributing factors besides COVID-19. We talked about at length the other day the fact that there is a difference between dying of COVID-19 and dying with COVID-19. We're not going to talk about that as much tonight, but we are going to go to the charts. When I taught history a number of years ago, I enjoyed saying, let's go to the map, shall we? So let's go to the charts now, shall we? And let's look first at COVID Act Now. You remember COVID Act Now? We haven't talked about COVID Act Now in a little while, but COVID Act Now back on the radar. And let's look at today. So this is as of today, and we're looking at now for the state of Oklahoma. So here we are. This is state of Oklahoma, and we are encouraged to act now. Avoiding hospital overload depends on aggressive government intervention. So today, they say that according to the COVID Act Now map, which many state governments used to act on, they say that as of now, there should be somewhere between 332 hospitalizations and 413 hospitalizations right now. We'll talk about that number here in just a moment. If the restrictions, however, are lifted, and we know that likely there are going to be restrictions lifted at least by the end of the month. Now, Oklahoma has not made any bold statements about what exactly is going to happen. There has been one restriction that has been removed or at least adapted, and that is in the area of elective surgeries. Elective surgeries, and Governor Stitt talked about that, is going forward into degrees. Some of them will be available by April 24th. More will be available by May 2nd. But if restrictions are lifted, the COVID Act Now map says that within 2 days, there will be 413 hospitalizations. By April 26th, there will be 836 hospitalizations. And, excuse me, let me bring this back down. By May 24th, there will be 39,039 hospitalizations projected. In the entirety of what we have known in Oklahoma since this disease has been found here, there have been 561. And this means this was going on. The disease was being potentially spread before we had the safer at home restrictions placed upon the state back on March 25th. So in the time between March 25th and now, we have been safer at home, but we all know, and as has been well documented with local social media, that not everyone is staying at home. There are people who are going to the stores and doing different things like that. And so even with that, even with all that going on in the state of Oklahoma, there have been a total of 561 hospitalizations, period. COVID Act Now says that if we lift any of these restrictions, that we should have 39,000 hospitalizations projected within about a month. I'll let you do the math on that. Let's go ahead and look at Bryan County then also. If we look here at our numbers for Bryan County as of today, and by the way, I think it's nice too, they've said that our number of available hospital beds in Bryan County has gone up. It used to be just 122. Now it's 123. So thankful for whoever gave us that extra bed. If restrictions are lifted in Bryan County, this number of hospitalizations by May 24th, by May 28th should be up to 459. And get this, according to COVID Act Now, which many state governments use to make decisions, even if we do what we're doing right now, we continue our social distancing and we continue to do what we're doing right now. Many people are wearing masks in public. Not everyone is wearing a mask in public, but we're social distancing and we're taking care of our business. Even if we continue social distancing, see right here, social distancing for 3 more months, by July 7th, it's not going to have made a difference anyway. So that's depressing. Let's go on to another map here. And I know I want to get through the depressing part here really quickly. By the way, Brian, thanks for being on really quickly. Brent, I got with the positive first. I'm kind of teasing about some of the other stuff, so glad you're on tonight. Hey, Jace, and good night, Jaylee Bell. Glad that you got to be on for a little while. Contributing factors happen with just about every illness, Brian, and you know what? That is true. And if you've seen a death certificate, interestingly enough, I know that Brent's seen death certificates before, but there are 2 or 3 and sometimes 4 lines for what could have contributed to the actual passing itself. So that is something that is there. Let's move along really quickly and let's look at another chart. And we have talked about these charts before. I think this one is a little bit more accurate, but even so, this chart has had a couple of flaws, I believe. Let me find it here. There we go. This is the, you see it there? There it is. All right. This is the Institute for Health and Metrics Institute of Health and Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluations. There you go. I knew I'd get it. All right. This is what has been used by the federal government on this level. And we look at the state of Oklahoma, and I think this is actually pretty interesting. So here we are today, and in the state of Oklahoma, let's look at all resources here. It says that ICU beds available in the state of Oklahoma, 83 beds needed. That's a projected number. We'll get to the real number here in just a moment. Out of 467 available. Not bad. That's not bad. All beds available. 343 beds needed for COVID-19 patients out of a 5,457 bed availability. Not bad. It's really not bad at all. And even the invasive ventilators, possibility of needing 73 by today. And the number that we have is a lot more than that. We'll get to that projected or that real number in just a moment. Let's look down here at deaths. The projected number of deaths early on was a lot more. And it's been, here we are, back in April. There we go. Projected number of deaths by April 20th, 169. We've had only 143. I know that doesn't seem like that big a number, but I guarantee you those 26 people it does. 26 less deaths than what was actually projected. Let's go then really quickly, finally on the last thing with these charts, and let's look at one more chart here really quickly as we're here. Thank you, by the way, for everyone watching tonight. Dottie, hi, glad you're on board with us tonight. Always good to see you there. Lots of folks that are coming online tonight. Not everybody likes those numbers, and that's okay. So we'll still look at the numbers. And by the way, I didn't make these numbers up. I'm just showing you what's given to you by the government and who's making these decisions. Here we are. Did I get there? No, I didn't. All right, let me try it again. There we are. All right. We're looking at these numbers now. This is from the state of Oklahoma. The COVID-19 report, by the way, you can find this online at coronavirus.health.ok.gov, coronavirus.health.ok.gov. ICU beds available, still 36 of the ICU beds available. By the way, not all the ICU beds that are being used right now are being used for COVID-19 cases. Only 93 of those are being used for COVID-19 cases, but there's still more ICU beds available. Pediatric beds available, pediatric ICU beds available, ventilators available. Of the 985 ventilators in the state of Oklahoma within our hospitals, 869 of them are available. Not bad. Not bad at all. We've talked about these numbers earlier. Let's look at them one more time. 2,680 total cases positive ID'd for COVID-19. 1,614 of those have recovered. That means currently not hospitalized or deceased, and 14 days after the onset of report. 61%. In Bryan County, 3 of the 5 people who have been diagnosed with COVID-19 have recovered. 60%. I'd say we're pretty even. I'd say we're actually right up there with the state of Oklahoma as a whole, and that's not bad. Those are positive numbers. Those are good numbers. Those are numbers that we can look at and say, wow, this is something to be excited about. This is good. Now, does that mean that we need to absolutely stop everything that we're doing right now and completely go a different direction? Absolutely not. And that's where this gets to be a little bit frustrating, is because there are times people want those numbers to look the other way so that we can continue staying where we are or staying at home. And you saw even the COVID Act Now version says if we do nothing, if we continue social distancing, it's not going to matter. We're going to fill up all the hospital beds anyway by July 7th. So why should we even try? No, we keep on trying. We keep on working. We keep on pushing. We've gotten adjusted now to being socially distant. It is, and I hate this phrase, but it is a new normal. It's something that we're used to doing. I miss shaking hands with people. I miss giving people a hug, but I haven't done it. And most people haven't. People I've seen in stores in town, and yes, I've been to stores in town, and I'm not trying to hide it. I mean, I can't hide this. Pretty much probably saw me coming, or you saw me from behind, doesn't matter. But I haven't been shaking hands. I've got my little hand sanitizer bottle with me, and I keep it there, and I'm ready to go. But these are numbers we need to talk about. These are positive numbers. I would hope these are the numbers that you want to see. I would hope these are the numbers that are encouraging. And what frustrates me is that it looks like, and seeing local social media, that if we talk anything at all about the good, that means that by the end of April, everyone is immediately going to run out on the street and pop a keg right in the middle of University Boulevard and have some kind of amazing block party where we give each other high fives all the way through, and then beat it down the street in a foot race to see who can get to Walmart first, find a shopping cart so they can lick the handle. It's not going to happen that way. And we're not going to do that. We need to be encouraged, and we should always be encouraged by the positive numbers. And so I'm going to keep on bringing you the positive numbers as often as I can. Anita, thank you very much. Doing my best to keep us informed. And I will talk about this at the end also. I will also say again, there are reasons to doing what we do, and I'm not hiding any of mine. That's the thing. It is day 26 after the Safer at Home edict and the state government put things into play for Brian. Yeah, some college students may do that. That is true. Put some things into play for our state. It is now day 26 of not a lockdown. It is not a lockdown. It drives me bananas. I know you can tell. It drives me bananas when I see that on social media. Well, here we are in the lockdown. Well, it's officially a lockdown. It's not a lockdown. It is a shutdown. It's a safer at home guideline, but it's definitely not a lockdown. We're in day 26, and we're starting to feel it here in the McWilliams household. Is anybody else feeling this? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, all right. Shout outs. Thank you very much, by the way. I know when I bring this up, I want to show the reason I bring this up. It's alumni. I'm an actual alum, so I'm not trying to do anything bad with this. Shout out to all the advertisers. Shout out to all the advertisers, including, there went the hand sanitizer. All right. Abundant Life, Texoma, Blake Utterford, Choctaw Nation, Durant Station, Greg Phillips Insurance, Indian Nation Wholesale, People First, Studeville Chevrolet, and Texoma Utility Equipment. Thank you to all of you all. And I have so many other advertisers and sponsors. We could not do the things we do without you. And I am so very thankful for each one of you. I really, 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 really appreciate you. Lots of advertisers here on the site. So, Bryan, thank you, Robert. It is a nice cup. Going to make a ringtone with the next shutdown quote. I do enjoy the rants every now and again. I really do. And the thing about it is, you I'm glad you enjoy them, because Mrs. Patriot has to put up with them on such a regular basis that she's pretty good at those rants herself every now and again. All right, Bryan County Health Department. Bryan County Health Department still testing curbside for, and I saw this again today, we don't have enough testing. I want to remind you, we can go back. Let's go. I'll tell you what, let's go back just for a moment. Here we go. Let me see if I can bring this up. Testing kits available. Testing kits available. Do you have? I know. Okay. Well, the testing kit's available. It's on another sheet. I'm sorry that I didn't have that able to be brought up for you. I know we have those testing kits available. There were more than 41,000 as of the last time we looked, so we'll have to get that number back out again. And more than 400 in Bryan County. Let me repeat, more than 400 in Bryan County. And many of the folks who are saying we don't have enough testing going on in Bryan County, that's why we shouldn't open things back up, they're here. They're available. I don't know. Whoopig suing. You didn't think I knew what the WPS was, did you? That's all right. I have relatives who live in Arkansas. I actually do have an arkansassports.net. So there we go. All right. Logan Thompson, my goodness. Thanks for stopping by tonight. I really appreciate that. Blood drives. I will have something on the Bryan County Patriot tomorrow about all the blood drives that are going to be going on in the next through the end of May in Bryan County. Blood drives. And I'm actually going to go to one myself because I'm available to do one now. And I think I was taking some medication last time, so I didn't do that last time. But I'm ready to go give blood again. I encourage everyone to go give blood. On Thursday, there will be a blood drive at the Colbert Police Station from 2 to 6:30 p.m. 2 to 6:30 p.m. in Colbert on Thursday, and Sunday in Calera at the First Baptist Church. All right. No, the fussing was the fussing was about that I had seen over the weekend that we just don't know enough because there's not enough testing has been done, and the tests are available. So there it is. Now I've seen it locally too. All right, let me talk about. I mentioned, who was it, Bryan? I mentioned arkansassports.net. Let me bring this up really quickly because I have put it on Facebook this past 2 or 3 days about midwestsports.net, and I want to stop for a moment and do some shameless self-promotion and plug something else really quickly. And I'm going to ask for a little bit of help in this. One of the things that people have talked about the economy is the fact that it's not like flipping a light switch. You can't just go back over and say, all right, we're back at work now. Everybody go back to work and click, start exactly where you left off before. It doesn't happen that way. It's not going to happen that way. And the Bryan County Patriot is one of my businesses, but the other area of what I do is sports, and I do a lot of sports. I do a lot of sports broadcasting, which clearly I'm not doing any of right now. And I have sites like oklahomasports.net. And yes, I did know that, Stephen, and we're going to talk about that as well. That will be on the Bryan County Patriot tomorrow. Indian Nation Wholesale is having a blood drive on the 28th. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I have oklahomasports.net. I have arkansassports.net. I have a number of other states, and specifically I have midwestsports.net, which actually I cover Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa, those 6 states on midwestsports.net. And I've been asking people to maybe like the Facebook page for midwestsports.net. And that is because I'm trying to grow this so that when we can do some sports again. Remember, I said we can't just flip that switch and have everything go back on. We're trying to get some broadcasting ready for that. So I'm giving a request now. If you go to the Facebook page for MidwestSports.net, is there. And I ask, actually, this would help a lot. Midwest Sportsnet, the YouTube channel. Midwest Sportsnet, the YouTube channel. And I'm going to talk about this throughout the week. So be prepared for a couple of commercial spots. Midwest Sportsnet YouTube channel. If you subscribe, it would help a lot. And that's because we're trying to reopen all of our other businesses. So that's why I'm talking about it there. So anyway, MidwestSports.net Facebook page and Midwest Sportsnet YouTube channel. All right, Texas is starting to reopen. Hey, Tammy, thanks for joining tonight. Ronnie, to you as well. Appreciate that. Texas is starting to reopen. But mainly what Texas is doing is getting to the place where Oklahoma is right now. Texas instituted a few more things that were a little more strict than where Oklahoma was. And so they were really at more of the shelter at home. Oklahoma was at the safer at home. So Texas, by the end of this week, will allow more retailers to open back up with to-go service and some curbside service. So establishments can deliver items to customers' cars or homes or other locations. This is something we've had here in Oklahoma pretty much all along. So that's a good thing. Just to the south of the Red River, a lot of folks are going to be able to do some more things. So encourage the folks there that need that. So a shout out to the folks in Texas. We've already talked about elective surgeries being ready to come back into play by April 24th. So there's that. Shout out again to Ronnie, Paula as well. Thank you, Paula, for stopping by tonight. Appreciate that. The headline that stands out to me the most as we start to wind down just a little bit here and get to my final point, the headline that stands out to me, oil futures fell to below zero. I can't imagine, by the way, going to, well, I think it would be really cool, but if I went to Walmart and the employees in Walmart paid me to take some of their, goods, hey, listen, it looks like a good flat screen TV. Well, here, would you take it for $25? Really? No. Would you take it for $55? There you go. Well, that's kind of where oil futures are right now, because by itself, the whole Russia versus OPEC and all of that going on would have been bad for the oil market. The prices were starting to go down. Then you throw in the whole, hey, we're not even going to use gas and travel anywhere for a while. So the oil market's gone down big time. This is not good for the state of Oklahoma, which is declaring a failure for state revenue for the fiscal year 2020 of more than $400 million. Not a good thing, but oil futures, I thought it was funny. People are actually going to pay other people to take their oil and store it. That is a true story. You need to watch that. I know it's really good to get our oil for $1.47 per gallon or less, but overall, this is not great for our Oklahoma State economy, so keep that in mind. If you haven't gotten your stimulus check already, that makes me sad for you, because most people have, or at least a number of people have. Is the stimulus check taxable income? And according to the IRS website, question number 20, is the payment taxable as 2020 income? The answer, no. The payment is not income, and this is directly from the IRS website, by the way, and you will not owe tax on your payment. It will not reduce your refund. That was what I was concerned about. I didn't think it was going to be taxed, but I thought it might reduce my refund or increase the amount you owe when you file for your 2020 tax return next year. A payment will also not affect your income for purposes of determining eligibility for federal government assistance or benefit programs. So that's good news. So, and we have received our stimulus relief check, whatever you want to call it. We have received that, so that's a good thing. And I've already spent some of it. And I can honestly say that everything we've spent so far has been spent locally, because we haven't gone anywhere. Yeah, Jamie, thinking about all the people who are in the oil and gas business and their jobs. And there are people in Bryan County who work in the oil and gas business. So these jobs are very, very important too. Need to keep that in mind. All right, wrapping things up. I mentioned 1989 on Saturday's show, and then I didn't go back and talk about it like I said I would. I graduated in 1989, And at that point, that's how many likes the Bryan County Patriot Facebook page had, was 1,989, and we were really close to 2,000. I just wanted to say thank you for that. The page is growing, the site is growing, everything about the Bryan County Patriot is growing, and I'm thankful to every one of you. Paula, thank you for watching tonight. Jamie, again, thank you for watching. Amy, Austin, thank you all for watching tonight, and I appreciate you. So real close to that 2,000 mark, and I don't take those things lightly. I know there are lots of sites and lots of businesses that have more than that. I'm just thankful for every one of you, and I just wanted you to know that. All right, final thing tonight is this. Yeah, Brian just does. It goes to show how much cruises and airlines use. A lot of fuel. And wow, I want to be on an airplane again someday. My kids were talking about this. My three youngest have not ever been on an airplane, and I want to be on an airplane again. I want to travel again someday. So there is that. All right, final thing tonight. Let me bring this up so you can see it. Okay. Bryan County Patriot. And there it is. This is the Bryan County Patriot. This is the website. And so today on the Bryan County Patriot, there was this story. 3 of 5 who tested positive for COVID-19 in Bryan County have already recovered. And I thought it was not too long, decent story. By the way, here's the site for that. So all of my sources can be verified. So that's pretty cool. Just in case there's that journalism right there. So even in doing this, when I posted this, I had an idea. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page here as I talk to you. Even as this was going on, I had a good idea that it would probably not be met with 100% positive commentary. And I honestly, there's a part of me that's surprised, but there's a part of me that's not. And still, even though 60% of the people who've tested positive for COVID-19 in the state of Oklahoma have already recovered, there are still folks that look at it and go, well, yeah, but. And there were comments online of, well, that's great. It's good for them that they're better, but how many people did they transfer it to? You have to think about that too. I'm not trying to make this as a statement to open the government. I'm trying to tell you that there were 3 people that recovered. Well, there's a difference between recovery and actually being well. Yes, that's why I put the definition of recovery according to the statistics and the Oklahoma State Department of Health in the story itself, because we do know that. But I want to show you something in this, because we've talked about this before. And as we wrap up tonight, I want to tell you, when people post these stories on national news, and when certain stories come out and you look at it and go, why wasn't this story told a little bit earlier? You have to look, what's the motivation for the timing of the story? So when you look at this story that I posted here, what's the motivation for this story? Well, I'm going to tell you, there was a motivation for me posting that story today, but it's not a secret. Let's go to the BryanCountyPatriot.com, to the website here. There's the About section. We'll find out about the Bryan County Patriot. Oh, there's Mrs. Patriot. She's so pretty. All right, here's my agenda for posting that story, and I will highlight it here. We always want to take a positive approach. At the same time, we know that news is not always positive. I just wanted to let you know that story was posted today because I was trying to tell positive news. That's it. Don't have any other agenda. I'm telling you right up front. That's why I posted that story today. It's a good story. It tells positive things, and I wanted to share that with you. And by the way, just so you know a little bit about, let's go down here. Joey is an alum of Southeastern. That's right. Southeastern Savages. I was back when they were the Southeastern Savages. A degree in 1993 in Oklahoma State University in 2012. Completed his second bachelor's degree in journalism and broadcasting at OSU with an emphasis in sports media. So there you go. I do have a journalism degree from Oklahoma State University. So there we go. Hello, Mrs. Patriot. Yeah, she's there. 1992. Oh, cool. That's great. Well, fantastic. That'd be great. All right. So there's the agenda. I wanted to tell positive news. And that's what the Bryan County Patriot's all about. And really, that's what the BCP Live is all about. We're trying to tell some positive news. Sometimes we have to, do a little sarcasm here and there. Sometimes, but that's just the way it is. And the thing about it is, too, I had hoped more people would even, get to see that story today. It had a moderate response. I'd say it was a moderate to good response, but it was there, and I think part of it is the headline, because it said recovered. 3 out of 5 people in Bryan County recovered. I really do believe if I had put 3 out of 5 people in Bryan County who tested positive for COVID-19 had died, I mean, it would have crashed the website and very likely broken the internet in the entire Texoma region on both sides of the river. So, I'm glad that none of those things happened. I'm really glad that no one has died from it in Bryan County yet. So positive things right there. Anyway, good night. Good night. We passed the 30-minute mark. We passed the 35-minute mark tonight. So thank you to everyone for watching. Janice, thank you for coming on tonight as well. And I don't know if I missed anybody else. I'm looking at both my monitors over here. Mrs. Patriot on there as well. Thank you to everyone for watching tonight. I really appreciate you. Guests on this week, 3 of them in the next 5 days for sure, because they are locked in, and I know that you're going to enjoy the time with these folks. So anyway, lots good on the way. Blood Drive, that's right. Blood Drive story tomorrow, another feature tomorrow for sure, and we'll keep it all going. That's all on the BryanCountyPatriot.com. In the meantime, thanks again to all of our sponsors. Do want to say a shout out to Texoma Utility Equipment, Steubenville Chevrolet, People First, Indian Nation Wholesale, hey Stephen, Greg Phillips Insurance, Durant Station, Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, Blake Utter Ford, and Abundant Life Texoma. God bless you all. MidwestSports.net. Please be sure and give it a subscription as well. Have a great night. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Be wise. Use discretion. Do not walk in fear. God bless you. Have a good night.